many of you are kind of like your own harshest critic, where you're constantly looking to your peers and comparing yourself, and you're like, oh my god, they're so much better than me, why am I even trying, like why am I here? Well, that's the way I am. Like personally, I know from like school, sports, anything, I've constantly like looked to other people and I'm like comparing myself. I'm constantly telling myself like, why do I even think I can do this? Why am I trying? There's so many people better than me at this. And it's just like, I let my negative thoughts kind of like take over my mind. And Henry Ford said, if you think you can do a thing or you think you can't do a thing, you're right. And I'm going to talk to you today about how this quote has channeled in my life, not only through my personal life, but also as a coach. So one way I've used it in coaching is, obviously I coach 13 to 15-year-old girls. I have a team of about 30 to 35 of them. And they're constantly like yelling at each other, comparing themselves, trying to outdo each other, and it's really easy to get discouraged, especially because a lot of them are different skill levels. We get new cheerleaders, girls who've been doing it for a while and kind of have the basics down, and we have girls that are really highly skilled. And we have to kind of mesh the routine together for them, so the girls who are new can do it, and the girls who are highly skilled aren't kind of just, you know, oh, this is so easy, like this is boring, and we have to kind of make it so everyone is pushing themselves and getting better. And we're teaching a lot of new skills, and it makes a lot of people nervous physically and mentally because they don't want to embarrass themselves in front of their peers and their team and make their team think like, oh, we're going to lose because I can't do it. And they get so frustrated, and I get the arms crossed, and they're looking at me like, I told you I couldn't do it, why are you making me do this? And I have to sit there and I'm like, breathe. You made up your mind before you did it. You made your mind up saying you can't do this, and you're literally telling your body you can't do it. And that's the problem. And I have to tell them like, step out and visualize yourself doing this, take a breath and go back in. And almost every single time they either improve drastically or they execute it perfectly fine, and they're like, oh, I can do it. And I'm like, see what your mind can do. And I have to tell them like really often that it's just as important to keep your mind in shape as it is your body, and you're not going to keep your mind in shape if you're constantly letting yourself, like your negative thoughts take over your mind and tell yourself, hey, you can't do this, you're not going to be able to do it. And letting your mind take over is never an easy thing, and you just like want to give up on yourself so easily every time. You're like, oh, the easy way out is just I can't do it, why try again? And not only as a coach to other people, but as a coach to myself as well, my own mind, I have used this. And one way I've used it towards myself is I've always loved writing. It's been an escape for me. I've always used it when I'm stressed, when I'm happy, just to do something. I've always written, but I've never really shared it with anyone, because I always tell myself, I'm not a professional writer. I'm a 20-year-old kid in college that just writes for fun. No one's gonna like my writing, no one's gonna be interested. And unfortunately, a couple years ago, my great aunt passed away, and I'm really blessed to be really close with my whole family, so I knew her really well. And I knew she was passing, and I went to the nursing home the night before she passed away, and I was able to sit with her, say my goodbyes. And on the way home, I had these words in my head, and I was like, wow, I really need to write these down. And I went home, and I wrote them down, and I gave it to my grandmother as, it was a poem, I gave it to my grandmother as like a consolation, like, your sister just passed away, here you go. And she read it and shared with everyone. They were like, wow, that was really good. And my cousin's an author, actually. My grandmother emailed it to her, and she sent me this feedback and was like, oh, share with me any of your stuff. Like, you have a lot of potential. And everyone's like, why didn't you ever share? Like, we didn't even know you liked to write. And I was like, I didn't think anyone would want to. So I was letting these negative thoughts take over, like, my ability for writing. And I'm like, why did I do that if all these people, like, it feels so good to have these people appreciate it. And it's the same thing in school. Like, I'm looking to my peers and they're getting better grades, and I'm like, why am I here? Why am I trying? And I talk to my professors and they're like, you can do it. You just don't have any confidence in yourself, and you doubt yourself so much. And then I go home and I'm like, I can't do it. And then I prove it to myself by studying, and I go and I take my test and I pass. And a lot of times I have these moments of doubt, and I turned to my friends, and my friend this summer actually told me about this book. It's called The Secret by Rhonda Byrne, and she has a lot of different experts on this subject weighing in. It's about the law of attraction and the power that your thoughts have on your body, and how your thoughts can really like take over your life. So I picked out a little excerpt from one of the experts named John Assaraf. He says, "You are the most powerful magnet in the universe. You contain a magnetic power within you that is more powerful than anything in this world, and this unfathomable magnetic power is emitted through your thoughts." So I saw that as like, if I'm constantly thinking negative things and I'm constantly telling myself I can't do it, I'm not going to want to even try. And I instead decided to reverse my reverse my thoughts, and yeah.
All right, thank you.